There has never been a confirmed case of COVID-19, scientifically speaking. Hey everyone, I'm Jason, nutritionist, holistic health practitioner, hypnotherapist. So let me explain what I mean by that. And I just had to do this video because I am tired of people getting scammed by the fact that they're saying people have COVID when they don't. So the first thing I'm going to say about that is the reason there has never been a confirmed case of COVID-19 is because there is no specific test for COVID-19. Let me say that again. There is no specific test for COVID-19. Okay? 99% of the people that get tested that I've heard about, they don't even ask for the results. They just trust their doctor to be able to tell them, oh, you have COVID-19. Okay? This is what they're relying on. This is what hikes up the numbers. Okay? Every positive test. So let me explain. You've got two types of tests for coronavirus, not COVID-19. Notice how the media very cleverly, interchangeably says those two different things at the same time. COVID, corona, COVID, corona. Well, there are 7 coronaviruses. 7, okay? People get coronaviruses all the time. At least one of the coronaviruses, people get it all of the time, okay? So let's talk about the corrupt CDC, okay? The corrupt CDC who lies to us, just like the media lies to us. But even the corrupt CDC about a month ago, okay, this is the first thing, about a month ago, even they said, which was not heavily published, of course, that about 94% of the people they said died of COVID-19, in fact, did not die of COVID-19. That means only 6% of the people that they originally said died of COVID-19, they estimated actually died of COVID-19. So at the time, it was 180,000 Americans, okay? That number went down to 9,800. This is directly from the CDC. Okay, first it was 180,000. They said no, 6%, 9,800 people. Since then, they say now, you know, the hiked up numbers, the exaggerated numbers, the fake numbers say just over 200,000 people have died for COVID-19. When in fact, according to that CDC's own data, only about 10,000 people in the entire US have died of COVID-19. Why is that important? Because any other illness you can imagine is deadlier than that. Okay, the flu had 80,000 deaths last year, okay, compared to the 10,000 of COVID-19. So again, this is according to the CDC's own data. So quit getting scammed, people. Okay? So what's the supposed hike now, right? What's the supposed surge now, second surge, which they were planning all along? Well, what season is just starting? That's right, the flu season. Okay? The flu season is just starting. People are getting tested. They are told that they have COVID when in fact they don't. Now, let's talk another thing about the CDC, even the corrupt CDC, what they just said a few days ago. So according to antibody tests, which we're going to talk about the two different types of tests for supposedly COVID, which is actually for any coronavirus. Okay, the CDC just a few days ago said that over half of the positive COVID tests are false. Over half of the COVID tests that came out positive are false positives. And again, this is the CDC. This isn't me. Okay, we all know that even then the CDC has been exaggerating. Even then the media has been exaggerating. Even then big, parts of our government, people in them, have been exaggerating. They're lying to keep you under control, under manipulation, okay, under power, seeing what they can get away with. Okay, another thing, let's talk about masks. Masks do not, I repeat, do not protect against viruses. Why? Because number one, use common sense, people. Masks are not even sealed. So of course viruses are going to get in a mask that's not sealed. You'd have to wear a hazmat suit with a hazmat shield in order to protect yourselves against viruses. Number two, you can breathe in masks, right? Well, because number one, they're not sealed. Number two, the holes in the masks. Yeah, sure, you have trouble breathing. That's a whole nother story of lack of oxygen you're getting from wearing a mask. Rebreathing in your own carbon dioxide over and over and over again. Bacteria forming in these masks. Okay, you have to sanitize them every day. Otherwise, that's going to happen. But a virus, the micron count of a virus is about 100 times smaller than the holes in the masks. It will penetrate right through it. Okay, again, seeing how many people they can control by trying to make people wear masks. Okay, now masks aren't completely useless. They help with bacteria. They help, prevent the spread of bacterial infections. Why? Because bacteria, the micron count of bacteria is much bigger than a virus. So some of the bacteria will get through the holes in the mask, but some of it won't. So if we were talking about a bacteria, okay, I could see the use of masks, but we're not. We're talking about a virus. Okay, so stop getting scammed. Yes, this is a scam, people. Wake up. I'm tired of people talking about this like it's such a big deal when it's not. So one more thing, I said I was going to talk about the different types of testing. So you got two main types. Some of you may already know this. You've got the antibody test, which tests for if you have that virus at that moment, and it also tests for if you've built up antibodies to it sometime in the past and have had it. So the antibody test that you built up antibodies in the past is your IgG antibody test. The antibodies that show up when you have an active virus is called IgM. Okay, now again, doctors, nurses, whomever else that are either uneducated or part of this scam, one of the two, will tell you this is specifically for COVID. It is not. This is for any of the 7 coronaviruses, and there's even a few that have subsets. People get different types of coronaviruses all the time. So again, you cannot confirm that somebody has COVID-19. COVID-19 has not been around long enough for the body to know to build up antibodies for that specific virus. This takes years for the body to recognize this is specifically COVID-19. I need to build up antibodies for it. It takes several years for the body to determine a specific virus to build up antibodies for. This is why it took so long to get antibody tests for all other viruses you can possibly imagine. Okay? COVID-19 has only been around for about a year at the time that I'm doing this video. I'm doing it in October of 2020. They discovered it, which that's a whole nother conversation about how it was discovered, but discovered back in October of last year, of 2019. It's only been around a year. People cannot make antibodies for a specific virus that soon. The body doesn't know what it is yet. So again, antibodies for other coronaviruses that have been around longer. Okay, that's what the body is making antibodies for. Okay, let's talk about the other tests. Let's talk about the nose swab test. Okay, the nose swab test tests for RNA breakage or RNA shedding from a virus. There's even talk that they can't even determine the difference between the types of viruses they're checking for RNA breakage. Okay? But let's say that they can. Let's believe some of the scientists that say, well, we can determine at least that it's a coronavirus. Okay, maybe not. But even if they could determine it's at least a coronavirus, still, you've got 7 different types of coronaviruses and you've got subsets. So this could be RNA breakage for any of those viruses. And arguably any virus, period. But let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that it can be one of the coronaviruses. Okay, again, not a specific test for COVID-19. Stop falling for the scam. Okay, you have a 99.9% chance you will never get this. And if you do get it, you have a 99.9% chance you will survive from it. There is no reason to shut the country down. There is no reason to shut down our economy, shut down businesses. Nobody has the right to take away somebody's livelihood. And there is no reason to wear a mask for this. Okay? And again, I had to do this video because I'm tired of people getting scammed by this. Is there a virus? Even that's debatable. I believe there's a virus. There's an actual COVID-19 virus. I really do. But again, it doesn't matter. This is among the least prevalent and least deadly viruses we have ever seen. There have been way more deadly viruses, including the flu, that we have not shut down for. If you talk about avian flu, if you talk about H1N1, if you talk about Ebola, okay, we didn't shut down for any of those, and they were more deadly, according to actual numbers. Not talking about the exaggerated numbers of COVID, the fake numbers of COVID, the enhanced numbers of COVID, talking about to compare to the actual numbers of COVID. Okay? So this video needs to be shared with everybody that you know. Okay? And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And if you do get a positive test, ask to see it. Because chances are it's going to say positive for corona, which even then it may be a false positive, even if it's for any of the coronaviruses. But it's not going to say positive for COVID-19. If it does, somebody printed out a label and switched the labels. And I know that sounds far-fetched, but that is exactly what's happening. A lot of the doctors are in on this. A lot of the hospitals are in on this because they're being paid for every COVID diagnosis, COVID-19 diagnosis. They're being paid 10 times that amount for every death that is contributed to COVID-19. So they're just putting it on the death certificate. They're just putting it on the diagnoses. Again, I know this sounds far-fetched to some people, but this is exactly what's happening, and you can find all the information if you just search. If you just do the research and find all of the doctors that have been fired and gotten their licenses stripped by telling the truth about what's really going on. So again, share this video with everybody that you know and stop getting scammed and just live your life, fight the control that they're placing on us now. And I'll see you in my next video.